Hello everyone and welcome to the Free Range Diva. I have a video that I have been wanting to get to for quite a while. It's to update you on my journey to become a person who doesn't kill plants. And today I'm going to give you some more information about the benefits of indoor plants, and then I'm going to update you on my progress with the ones that I showed you in my earlier video where I talked about plants that clean the air. So let's get started, okay? Plants can help to increase your indoor humidity. If you live in a dry climate, not unlike where I do, or in the desert, Southwest, you know that it can get pretty dry indoors. So for us humans, a good indoor healthy humidity level is between 40 and 60%. And plants can help increase your indoor humidity through a process called transpiration, whereby the roots of the plants take in water through the soil and then release it into the air through the pores underneath the leaves. So the more plants you have, the better your indoor air quality. Some of the plants that are really good at this, I'm going to list right over here. Some of them, like the Areca palm, Boston fern, spider plant, peace lily, they're all easy to find at your big box garden centers or even, your regular local nurseries. Number 2, plants can reduce indoor airborne dust levels and keep your overall room temperature cooler. Again, through that process of transpiration. The moisture in the leaves attracts dust, and again, releasing the moisture into the air helps cool the air as well. Some of the psychological benefits of plants, they can relieve depression and anxiety, and caring for plants can bring you joy and a sense of accomplishment as you watch, something grow and change under your care. They also, of course, add beauty to your living environment, which again can bring you joy and happiness. Plants can lower your blood pressure. In my forest bathing video, I go into more detail about this, but basically connecting and reconnecting to nature helps us to calm down, and does in fact, has been measured, lower your blood pressure. The final benefit of plants, which has affected me the most, I think, plants can provide an emotional connection to our near and distant past. We receive plants to celebrate births, marriages, graduations, a promotion at work, buying your first house. We also receive them to provide solace at the loss of a loved one. They can trigger memories of relatives who loved plants. And this happened for me, bringing plants into my life and caring for them brought back memories of my grandmother, who she could grow anything, literally. And she loved her anthuriums and her philodendrons. And as I started seeing more and more of these plants, I started having memories of her, caring for her plants and her garden, because she also had a big garden outside. Additionally, my family's roots go back to Central and Eastern Africa, and so I have some plants that are native to those regions. So wherever your ancestors may be from, or wherever you may be from, you may not live there now, but having plants from, say, your childhood, or from an area that where you have an emotional connection, improves your quality of life, and again, brings you joy and a sense of accomplishment. So that's the more benefits of plants. And now I know you've all been waiting to find out what has been going on with me and the plants that I purchased earlier this year. So here comes the update. Okay, I'm finally set up. So this is the plant that started it all. This is the aglaonema, Chinese evergreen. This is the Lady Valentine variety. And this plant basically just sat on my dresser looking gorgeous. I recently, a few weeks ago, I gave it some fertilizer And yesterday I did a drench with a hydrogen peroxide drench to keep fungus gnats down. And it just perked up like crazy. And so it's put out a couple of new leaves. See, there's one right there, and there's another, oops, over here. And the thing that's so gorgeous about this plant is the variegation on the leaves, because it's got that deep pink color contrasted with that also deep rich green that just makes it beautiful. So this was so gorgeous that I had to get it a friend. And this is also a Chinese evergreen aglaonema. This variety is called the Silver Bay. And this guy, I realized that it sits next to the other aglaonema on a pebble tray, because they don't, actually they seem to be doing fine in the humidity inside the room. I was just kind of helping it while we had the heater on, but now that it's getting a little bit warmer, I don't need the pebble trays anymore. And this guy seems to be needing more sun, more light than it was getting where it was, because its leaves were looking a little droopy. So today, early this morning, I put it out on our sun porch so it could get a lot of indirect light, and it perked right back up. So I'm going to leave it out there for a few, like for a week or two, and let it get the light that it needs. But again, the variegation on these leaves is just incredible. It looks like, almost like the colors are painted on. It's just, there you go. It's just a stunning, stunning plant. I have an addition to show you. This is a ZZ plant. Zamioculcas zamiifolia, I believe, is how you pronounce that. Aren't you impressed? And this plant is also known as a Zanzibar gem. I picked this up at Home Depot, so this is pretty easy to find anywhere. And I got this because everyone needs at least one plant that is so hardy it's almost impossible to kill. It's good for a confidence booster. So that's why I picked this up. And at first, when I saw pictures of this online, I was kind of meh about it, but there we go. But seeing it in person, in real life, this is a beautiful, beautiful sculptural plant that doesn't take up a lot of space width-wise, but it definitely gives you just a beautiful presentation. And it's so easy, it's ridiculous. It's basically any kind of light is fine except for direct sun, and doesn't need to be watered all that much, like maybe once a month. Doesn't need a whole lot of fertilizer. It's not a real fast grower, but the more light you give it, the more that it will grow. Basically, it's just like a set it and almost forget it plant. So this was sitting on my nightstand until about a week ago, when the sun changed in the sky as we're getting closer to summer, and it started to get some late afternoon direct sun, and I don't think it liked that too much. So now it lives on my desk. Also on my desk is, remember, the sansevieria bird's nest snake plant. This variety, I believe, is called a Jade variety, and this has just sits there and does its thing. Again, it doesn't require a lot of water or a lot of attention. It doesn't need any sort of special water. Any water you give it, like tap water, is fine. Yeah, and it just, sits around. So I'll show you my desk now, because I wanted two more. I got two more of this one. So I'll show you the setup, how I put them on my desk. So this is my desk area, and this is where the sansevieria live. The one on the left is the original, and then these are its two buddies. They're sitting on an hors d'oeuvre tray from Home Goods, and that's on two boxes. They're subscription boxes that I weighted down with rocks and then covered in colorful paper. Right over here is a plant that I propagated from a 10-year-old pothos, And I've tried propagating before, but everything died once it went into soil. However, this is still alive. In fact, that is a new leaf. The desk set is from Amazon. It's rose gold. I'll link it if you're interested. And that's the ZZ plant in its new home, where it gets gentle, bright light all day long and seems to be really happy. So there you have it. That is my desk. And then the next plant that I'm going to show you is the peace lily. This plant is kind of a drama queen. Shortly after I got it, after I showed you that video, I'll hold her up a little bit so you can still see. This plant had 4 little leaves going around the bottom, and they all yellowed and died. I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe it needed a little more light, so I had it next to a north-facing window, and I put it directly in front of it. This plant can't take like tap water. It has to have rainwater or distilled water, and I had been giving it rainwater. Nevertheless, half of the leaves developed these brown spots. I'll show you close-ups. That just, I don't even know why. You know, I still don't know why. But I started giving it, I put it on a pebble tray because I thought maybe it needed humidity. I had my diffuser next to it, so I ran my diffuser to give it even more humidity. And I changed out the water. I stopped giving it the rainwater and instead started giving it distilled water only. And that seemed to do it, along with repotting because it was pot bound. So repotting this plant, giving it more light, giving it only distilled water, finally stopped the browning on the leaves, thank goodness, and the yellowing. And it also put out 2 blooms. And then once those blooms were gone, finally, a couple of weeks ago, it started giving me new leaves. So I've had 4 new leaves. There's one. There's a new leaf right there that's coming in. This one is new, and where's the other new one? Where are you? Oh, it's hiding. It's down under here, in the foliage. Anyway, the point is that it seems to be finally doing well. It might have gone into shock from, you know, coming here initially. I don't know. But this leaf, which I thought, this was going to die right after I got it, the yellowing and browning finally stopped, and it's still here and still alive and kicking. So were it not for the fact that this plant is such a heavy lifter when it comes to things like cleaning the air, you know, I probably would not have been happy at all with the initial drama that this plant gave me, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll just keep giving out leaves and getting even bigger. So here I am on the sun porch, and I wanted to show you the succulents because these, a friend gave me a succulent garden last summer, and it was struggling over the winter because it wasn't getting enough light, mostly because these blue chalk sticks were just taking over. So I had to chop off the tops of the 2 echeveria, and I stuck them in dry soil, and they rooted. So that's the tops, and then this stalk started putting out little pups. So I will eventually cut these off, but right now they look really cute right there, so I'm going to leave them where they are. But yeah, I successfully saved my succulent garden. Yay! Hello! The last plant that I wanted to show you is the monster, the beast. This is a dieffenbachia. The variety is the Camille or Camilla, and this plant actually was given to me by a really good friend last July, right after Duffy passed. And it came, you know, it was beautiful when it got here. I put it in my room, and the florist, you know, gave me instructions on how to take care of it. And within a couple of days, leaves started turning yellow. So being in no emotional state to deal with that, I gave it to my mother, who put it out on the sun porch and started taking care of it, which is where, and that's where it sat and lived. The sun porch, by the way, is this big sunroom that gets southern. It's got one whole wall of southern windows and a wall of eastern windows, so it gets a lot of light out there. Anyway, it was fine, and then in January I just happened to walk by and noticed more yellow leaves. There were about 4 leaves yellowing, and so I brought it in here. It was also like bone dry. My mother had forgotten to water it. So I brought it in here and gave it a really good drink of water. Those leaves fell off, and then 4 more appeared. So this plant really put me through the ringer this winter, trying to figure out what was wrong with it, what it needed. Now I am not a plant expert, but I am an expert on this plant. So if you have a dieffenbachia, if you have any issues with it or problems, or it's doing weird things and you don't know why, I can do a video on complete care, because looking on YouTube, I couldn't find anything. It's like, oh, this is a great plant. It never does, it's fine. And it wasn't that way for me at all. However, once I figured out what it needed, fixed the problems that it was going through, it started pushing out leaves, new leaves everywhere. There's like so many new leaves on this plant right now that are every day. It's like, oh, there's another one. It's getting bushy and lush, whereas, by the end of, it had lost several leaves down here, and so this trunk was getting really bare and thin. But you can see that there are lots more new leaves that have come in. New leaves are coming in throughout. So that's why I wanted to close with this plant, because I wanted to let you know that even if I can do it, you can do it. So yeah, so let me know in the comments below if you want a dedicated video to the dieffenbachia. And I will do that for you. All right, everybody, I want to thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have I've been increasing my plant collection over the last few months, so I'll revisit it again and show you some new things, and because I really wanted some plants to remind me of the plants that my grandmother had. So that'll to be continued. And of course, I will also keep you updated throughout the summer about what's been going on with the plants that I have so far. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to subscribe, that would be wonderful. I put out videos every Tuesday, and my subject matter is health and beauty and living toxin-free and aging, staying healthy as we age, because I'm 63 and I'm still hanging in there. So yeah, so hit that subscription button and the notification bell, and that way you won't miss a thing. Okay, everybody, until I see you in my next video, I'm wishing you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Take good care of yourselves, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye, everybody.